I've never felt as mission-driven by anything in my life as I have by my work building peak financial planning and providing financial advice to people just like you. I'm Eric Amzalag, and I'm the owner and head financial planner at Peak Financial Planning. And with your permission, I'd love to share a bit of my story with you, how I got here, and what I'm trying to do with this incredible gift that people just like you are giving to me, the gift of providing real, high-quality, life-changing, grassroots financial education and advice. In my early 20s, I chose to open a gym rather than go and become a nutritionist or a doctor. I had this choice. I wanted to help people get healthy and learn how to be healthy individuals. And I knew that if I went to nutrition school or to become a doctor, I was going to suffer by having the constraints of the insurance model upon me. I was going to have to limit how much time I could spend with each person, be forced to meet certain quotas and give prescriptions, and that just did not fit with my personality. I thought that the best way to actually help the most amount of people was to grassroots go in and educate people how to change the trajectory of their health. And the way for me to do that was to open a CrossFit gym. And so in 2014, I opened a CrossFit gym, and it was an incredible experience. I got to educate and change people's lives from the ground up. I got to watch the impact that our gym, my wife, and our training team were having on the community as we did nutrition seminars and taught people how to actually stick to a plan at the gym. Sadly, in 2020, when COVID hit, we decided to close the actual facility and move to a virtual model. And honestly, I'm even more sad to say that unfortunately the virtual model just didn't really fit with my personality. Like, I love to do this. I love to speak directly to individuals in person without time constraints and make a real connection. And so my wife and I talked, and she decided to take over the fitness business. And at the time I was listening to Dave Ramsey, and I thought to myself, hey, I could do this financial coaching thing. I am good at keeping people organized and accountable. I'm good at making systems and breaking complex subjects down into simple and actionable steps. And so I went and got my securities licenses, my Series 7, my SIE, eventually my Series 63. And now I have my certified financial planner designation. But at the time, I went to work at Ameriprise for an incredible franchise advisor who gave me a great blessing and a great opportunity to learn and kind of break my chops. And Ameriprise is a big brokerage company that sells financial advice, but what they really do is they sell insurance and annuities and mutual funds for commissions and kind of put that under the umbrella of selling financial advice. And while the franchise leader gave me an incredible opportunity and treated me very well with tons of respect and gave me lots of opportunities to learn, I learned pretty quickly that big finance, I call the big brokerage companies big finance, is exactly as negative as we experience it to be. There was tons of negligence, there were lots of mistakes that were made, and the corporate kind of bureaucracy would constantly come in and clean up the mess and kind of protect the high-producing advisor at the expense of the consumer and client who was eventually suffered financially because of the inability and inattention that they couldn't provide enough attention to the client. What I notice is that clients get a bad experience when advisors are not organized, when advisors are not starting from a place of education and providing a slow onboarding before they make quick financial decisions. I said to myself, I think there's a better way to do this. Ultimately, that led me down the path of finding a group called XY Planning Network, which I'm wearing the shirt for now. And they help independent advisors leave the brokerage model and escape the constraints, the same constraints I was going to face if I were to become a nutritionist or a doctor. You face those same constraints in the financial advice brokerage model. You have to meet certain quotas. You have to sell products that the company tells you to sell. Most of your fees are commission driven based on the sale of those products. It's an ugly incentive model that really is about churn. It's not about helping each client get the most. It's about moving from client to new client because you get your pay at the front end when you sell a new product. And so XYPN was a consulting company that could help me start my own company. And I had this vision of Peak Financial Planning, what is now Peak Financial Planning, that would provide fee-only fiduciary financial advice and education. That meaning I would have the ability to not face time constraints, to spend as much time as I want, to charge whatever fee I felt was appropriate for the client or the prospect sitting in front of me so that I could help solve their needs and provide great financial advice to them. And now I see it as my mission, actually, to pit myself against big finance. So I really think big finance does not have the consumer's best interests at heart. I think they benefit from the fear mongering and the discomfort that's created through all the different online articles about how much money do you need to save and how much should you retire. All that stuff is designed to get clicks, to keep people in fear so that they make impulsive and rash decisions with their money. And one of the hallmarks of big finance is that the only way to get good financial advice is to turn over your assets to some stranger who you don't know very well. You don't know their track record. You don't know how to verify the things they're saying. And I think ultimately what that does is it puts consumers like you in a terrible position where they actually choose not to get financial advice at all because they're so concerned about how they're going to clearly qualify the person that they're looking to for financial advice. Like, it's so difficult, opaque, and untrustworthy, really, that how do they actually know? And really the first thing that the consumer you is asked to do is to transfer assets over, like the biggest risk ever taken in your life. And you have to do that before you can even get basic financial advice. Like, it's such a ridiculous system on its face. And so Peak Financial Planning, my business, is all about, it's to start with planning first rather than investment rollovers at the front end, so that you have time to see if my team and I are qualified to teach you and solve your problems and help provide a system that helps, clear through the financial clutter, helps you evaluate the financial opportunities that are ahead of you, all through a flat fee model that doesn't charge you by the hour or by the minute, so that you don't have to worry, hey, am I going to get a bill every time I call Eric or I call the Peak Financial Planning team? No. It's a flat fee model that incentivizes you to reach out as often as you need so that you can get the financial advice you need and escape the terrible incentive structure of the big finance model. And so with that said, hearkening back to what I said at the beginning, I feel very, very privileged. It's a true blessing to be in the position that I'm in, where I can provide financial advice and education and build a team here at Peak Financial Planning and try to provide opportunities to other financial planners and financial advisors who would like to escape the terrible incentive model of big finance and provide real education and advice to people just like you. So thank you for your trust. I hope I get a chance to speak to you at some point in the future. Please feel free to click around on my website, to go to my YouTube channel. You can watch all sorts of free educational videos on those platforms, and we'll keep pumping those out. And if you ever have questions or just want to get in touch, send us an email, schedule some time to my calendar. It's free, and I look forward to speaking to you if I get the privilege.